This is the launch episode 52 for January 27th, 2026. Streaming from the beautiful Pacific Northwest and the mighty American West Coast, we greet you all a good morning, a good evening, or whenever your timeline may fall. Time-appropriate greetings, indeed to one and all. This is The Launch, and my name is Chris.
And I'm Angela.
Hello, Andrews. Here's a few things everybody ought to know. We do the show live. We'd love it if you join us. You're absolutely welcome. That's over at jblive.tv. We also have a phone number. You can call us, 774-462-5667. Yeah. The phone, 774-462-5667. Join us on that Tuesday, 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. UTC over at jblive.tv or your podcasting 2.0 app of choice. We come out Wednesday mornings over at weeklylaunch.rocks. Our mumble room is going. Hello up there, quiet listening. Nice to have you. Thank you very much. And, of course, our chat room, Launch HQ on our matrix, details at weeklylaunch.rocks. Now, Andrews, when you said today that you wanted to talk about car accessories, well, you got my attention. It's one of my favorite topics, actually.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's almost a unlimited
yeah.
options.
There are so many. And as a result, there is some crap out there, too.
For sure.
Did you have anything in particular in mind when it comes to car accessories?
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about what I have but have not installed yet, what the car came with that I refused to use.
Oh, really?
But recently had to start. And things that I still haven't gotten. So to start, Amazon has this weird section where you can go to where it's a bunch of discount stuff. It's like Ross. It's like the Ross or
like
the
discount
stores.
bin.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay,
and so I bought a bunch of stuff, but two things that I bought from my car, and that was leopard tire gauge covers, right? Like little caps. And then air fresheners that clip onto the vents.
And they don't give you a headache or nothing, huh?
Well, I'm not going to use the air freshener portion.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just going to use the clip to bling it up, right?
Yeah.
And then I was at the dollar store the other day, and I saw these.
Like bedazzled...
yeah, it's a thing that you hook to the back of your headrest, and it's an automatic hook. So, like, if you're carrying soup in a reusable bag and you don't want it to spill, you can hang it on the back of the seat. Yeah.
But it's bedazzled.
But it is bedazzled with a little bit of bling in the car. And that's just nice. Obviously, just side note, when you have kids, like you learn that anything can become a projectile and can be dangerous, right?
Or anything will get left behind and roll around on the floor.
Well, that too. But so you have to be careful. Like, obviously, I wouldn't use that if I had kids in the seat behind them. But I don't travel with kids often in the back seat, so it's fine.
I'll tell you, I'd put a bag back there and put your damn water bottles in there. Stop leaving them in the pocket of the seat. Open up the back door and look at all this crap.
Yeah, I know.
And how many times do I say don't leave it in the car?
The reason why I haven't installed those things is because my car just needs a full clean out.
Yeah.
And then I'll add those things and I'll feel good about a clean car and having these things.
That is the way to do it.
So what I haven't gotten is a leopard tint or like leopard spots on the windows.
No,
like they have these on Amazon or decals on the car.
Well, I was going to say, I bet you they have a leopard print sunscreen that you could put in the windshield in the summer. That
I have that one that folds really nicely still, and it's fine.
Yeah, but it's not leopard.
It's not. You're right.
Leopard.
My mom got me one, but it was like one of those fan ones that are bulky and
it's
annoying.
A lot to carry around.
Yeah, you're right. I should look for that. And then a gap filler.
Oh,
where we drop our phones, right?
Yep.
Those
are brilliant.
Yeah. I've been meaning to get those because it happens. So then there is a feature in my car that I swore I would never use. First of all, I'd never use my heated seat, right?
Really? People love heated seats.
Nope. It's so uncomfortable for me because my body can't regulate body temperature. I can't warm up too fast.
Yeah.
Well,
that makes sense.
My steering wheel is heated.
Oh, that's glorious, isn't it?
No.
No?
I was never going to use it.
Really?
Ever.
Even in the winter?
Even in the winter.
Wow.
Basically, no. But I have developed secondary Raynaud's syndrome.
What is this?
Yeah.
Rain?
It is Raynaud. It is a condition where when my fingers or toes and heel, which I found out the other day, or a body part is exposed to extreme, or not even extreme cold, but cold, the blood vessels like constrict and cut off blood flow. So my fingertips or my toe, it was my pinky toe. My whole pinky toe was white, and my heel was white, and it's like numb and tingly and uncomfortable. And it happens for about 15 minutes, and then it turns blue.
When they get cold?
And then it turns red.
Oh.
Yeah.
If it stays
red,
cold? Like if you don't warm
the
it
blood
up?
flow
Or?
is coming back.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I see,
right.
I see.
No, it's just like So now I do have to use like it's logical to use the steering wheel heater.
It's 20 degrees outside.
Yeah, until it's at least not cold, right? I'm not going to make it hot because that would be uncomfortable.
Jeez, you need to move somewhere where
Dude,
it's just the same temperature all year.
I know.
Or as close to as possible.
I don't even know what I need. I probably just need to,
Because like this cold,
just end it all.
It ain't great when it's super hot for you, and it's not great when it's super cold for you. But if you could live like between, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wes posted a picture in the Launch HQ chat. That is exactly. It's so annoying, and it only happens on the left side of my body, which is how I know it's secondary. It sucks.
Yeah, that is. And it for me, I'd be like, I got to find somewhere that has the same range of 10 degrees all year long. So that makes the steering wheel sort of like a medical device almost. Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, medically necessary.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for me, I have a couple of tips when it comes to finding great car accessories. Mm-hmm. And this first one's going to be kind of obvious, so I'll just bang this out. But if you have a kind of popular car brand, like a Toyota or a Subaru or a Honda, or a Ford or a Chevs or a Tesla or whatever's out there, there are generally online shops that cater to only your vehicle or maybe your brand. Yeah. And they only sell accessories for your brand. And the thing that I have found with that is they tend to be higher quality than some of like the knockoff crap that you can find on places like Amazon. But also they tend to fit. They tend to have, things that are specifically designed. And to that end, and I've mentioned this before, I don't know if I mentioned it on this show, but I'm going to mention it here. ProClip. The boys, you guys listening, you guys know what I'm talking about. But ProClip, they do one thing.
Oh, yeah.
Phone mounts. And all they do is phone mounts designed specifically for your car. So if you got like a weird-ass shaped dashboard that you can't mount a phone on, like my wife's Ford Focus, they got one that'll work for you.
Interesting. I have not done this yet. I feel like it would be more distracting than just picking up my phone from where I store it.
Or are you using built-in navigation when you need nav?
I have it. Yeah, I have nav. Yeah.
This is really handy for folks that like to have nav on their phone.
Yeah.
Or if you use Apple CarPlay.
Yeah, I do.
It is nice because you can actually do two screens. So you could have, if you're using Apple Maps, you could have the maps on the display, and then all of the next upcoming turns are on the iPhone screen. Mm-hmm. So you can see all your future turns on the iPhone screen. That's nice.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. I actually did that today. I replicated it. I opened Google Maps while it was navigating on my car.
And you got the steps?
And it showed all the steps.
Or I might run maps or whatever on the main display and then Waze on the iPhone display so I can watch for cops too.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why it's kind of nice. And they have like magnetic mounts if you have a newer one. But they have regular clip mounts, and they have ones that will mount to your vent if that's all you have available. So that's proclipsusa.com. proclipusa.com. Mm-hmm. And they just have a model finder. And you just plug your model in there, and they'll find the one.
That's really cool.
I mean, you wouldn't believe the crazy, weird one that it has for my Volvo. We have a little SUV Volvo that we've had forever, and it just has the craziest Volvo dashboard that you're ever going to see. I mean, it's like this piano thing with like a phone dial on it and all kinds of stuff. And it's got like buttons for seats, like just this crazy button for where you want the airflow to go. There's just nowhere to mount a phone. And so sure enough, ProClip had it.
So I might have to give up one of my bling clips if I wanted to get a dash mount for my Subaru.
Depending on how you do it. Sometimes they have a couple of options.
Mm-hmm. Were you going to talk about the links that you put under here?
Yeah, I could quickly mention, too, I like the Amazon filter. I don't know if you've ever used that when you're on Amazon. So
filter.
I feel like this is something people don't know about.
I don't.
So when you're searching on Amazon for any car part, you can go in there and tell it your VIN or whatever, if you want to do all the individual model information. And then it will filter all the compatible parts based on your car. So you don't buy something like a headlamp.
Yeah. How do you do that? Because I typed Subaru Ascent and it under the search bar, and it just says all.
Yeah, you have to go through a little setup wizard where you tell it the
Got
details
it.
about. I'll link in the
see.
show notes. But
Okay.
you go through a little setup wizard, and then from that point forward, whenever you're logged into Amazon and you go to their website, it'll filter based on your car. It'll tell you. It'll put a little band at the top saying, "I'm filtering based on what's compatible with your car. Would you like to turn that off?" I don't love buying from Amazon. In fact, this would actually be, I think, my question to the audience. I would love a great place to buy like online parts, accessories, maybe even some, maintenance parts that isn't Amazon, isn't O'Reilly or like AutoZone.
What about that?
So I can just go there.
What about that crazy one that we pulled up when with?
I can't remember what it
Fred's
was.
Truck? It was green.
Yeah.
I know that.
So I feel like the audience out there probably has a couple of these, and we could collect a little resource and share them with the community. So boost it and tell us where you would go to get great prices, good parts that aren't scam stuff.
Rock Auto? Is it Rock Auto?
That sounds familiar. Somebody boost it and save us.
It autofill. It is. It wasn't green. It was blue. It is Rock Auto. I recognize it.
All right, and I think there's also like one for Ford cars.
Hybrid sarcasm for the win.
Thank you. So let me know your resources for buying parts online, accessories, whatever it might be. Boost in or leave us a voicemail. Because that's something I think we could do a little better of. And I don't need to get them all from the old Amazon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, let's talk about the big, big news this week. Everybody's talking about ClawdBot. Well, ClawdBot actually just rebranded to Moltbot this morning, or simply Multi for the bot. And it is, boy, let's talk about this. It is a self-hosted bot that you run on physical hardware or a VPS or in a VM. And it runs, say, on your machine, on your hardware. And it can connect to multiple services and systems and communicate with all of them. So that's a high-level overview. But think of it as a central agent that remembers everything you type, that connects to all your external services like Telegram, email, calendar, the file system on your computer if you want. And then from one spot, a chat program of your preference like Telegram, WhatsApp, Signal, or iMessage, you interact with that bot. So your chat interface is your chat program. And the idea is a personal AI employee that lives on your hardware rather than, say, in a corporate cloud. And it can do things like system administration. It can do proactive briefings. It can send you your morning report with your email, your to-dos, news events, things like that. And it can build things. It can do anything you can really do with an LLM, but the orchestration is running from your machine, and then it can farm out to cloud LLMs like Claude or ChatGPT, or you can run local Ollama LLMs on your machine. And this has taken everyone by storm on social media this week because it's essentially a one-liner script to set this thing up. Any machine that can run Node can basically run this thing. It needs Node.js. You probably want 4 gigs of RAM or so to run this thing. You need an internet connection, and it needs to run 24/7. And then once you've done that, you have a system that is a self-hosted bot that you control that's kind of constantly learning about you. And so that's the bigger shift here is, so when you go to ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever, and you chat with it, it sort of has a narrow context window.
Yeah.
And it knows about that session. This is employing tricks to remember details about you.
Yeah, global, like more holistically.
And just personality traits and preferences that you might have. So if you ask it to go off and do a task, it might remember that you prefer things done in a certain way, and then it continues to always do them in that way.
Someone's going to learn a hard truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, that's what I do? I procrastinate on everything?
What's interesting is the ClawdBot artist, formerly known as ClawdBot, now known as Moltbot because they got in trouble from Anthropic. It's able to self-repair and self-set up. So the process, once you get it going, the process of doing things is pretty much whatever you can imagine. So you can, and this is the way I do it, and I'll show you here on my screen, Ann, just so you can see it.
Okay.
Is I have a little bot chat that's always going in my Telegram here. I'm pulling it up for you. And you can kind of just see Like here a conversation I had where I asked it to set up skills, and you can sort of see what skills do we have now. And so skills are the way you actually make this thing useful. And skills are executable scripts, abilities. Mm-hmm. And an example of those might be, here's a self-improving skill. So every time it makes a mistake or something goes wrong, it notes that and learns from it. Another skill is to interface with the Google Gmail Calendar and Drive system. Another one is an Excel skill. Another one is a browser skill. And so I just asked my bot, I gave it a link of URLs, and I just said, go install all these skills and set them up for yourself. And it goes off, works for a couple of minutes, and comes back and says, here's what I've done. And so now, as the chat room's been playing around with, it's also hanging out in our Matrix chat room and chatting with people, because it can connect to your different chat platforms like Matrix. And it can execute like bot-like functions in there. Very cool. It is pretty neat. It's getting a lot of hype as like, oh, I bought a $700 Mac Mini and now it's my new employee. That's a little silly and stupid.
Yeah, a bit much.
But I want to talk a little bit about how the architecture of this thing is. So the Moltbot, it runs on your hardware, and it runs a process called the gateway that connects to every messaging service that you care about. That could be apps, devices, tools, anything that either has an API or a WebSocket, this thing can talk to it, which is essentially everything these days. And then the gateway that's running on your hardware, that owns the state, the events, and all of the agent actions. And then it will handle all of the coordination across the various platforms. It's sort of like a middleman. So for mine, I don't have any local LLMs set up yet. I'm working on that still, hopefully by the end of today. But what I have done is I have set it up to farm out to various different LLM backends depending on the complexity of the task. So if it's a simple task, it uses a cheap, fast LLM. And if it's a more complex task, it'll use a little bit more expensive LLM through the API. And you can kind of have a hybrid setup. So here's what mine is doing right now for me. And this is boring, but it's what I have it doing right now. Besides monitoring my inbox, looking for certain types of emails, which you have to be careful with, I'll get more into that, and monitoring the chat room, looking for certain mentions, which I'll get into that. I also have it every 2 days check for system updates on my home workstation. My home workstation is a completely vibe-coded from scratch workstation, and every change has been vibe-coded since it began like almost 6 months ago. And so what I say is watch every 2 days to see if there's any updates. When new updates land, apply the updates and watch the build. Monitor the result, and if there's any problems, resolve the problems. Check the Hyperland wiki. If there's been any breaking changes in the config, update my configs so they're compatible with the new release, then build again, check the output. Decide if any fixes need to go in the global config for all of my systems or if any of them are host-specific fixes, and then consider if there's a similar fix that needs to be host-specific on the other systems. Always do a boot rebuild so it doesn't just switch in the middle of the night. It can switch, but only if I tell it to. And then it also sends me a Telegram report when it's done all of that. So here's what I've done. I've updated these systems. I found these problems. I researched this on the Hyperland wiki. I found the fix. I applied the fix to these 3 systems. They're ready for you to reboot, and everything's good to go. That's the report I get in the morning. I would have had to do all that in the past on each 3 of the systems. Now the thing just runs every 2 days in the background and just does that.
That is so cool.
When it finds a problem, it creates an issue on my GitHub. And then it can keep track of all its problems on the GitHub, and I can tell it work through those problems over time.
Wow.
So right now, while we're doing the show, I have it researching a little app for me on a service that we use called Alphonic, because they have an API, and it's doing a little research and creating a little proposal, vibe-coded app for me. But I told it not to tell me about it. Don't bother me with that until after 2 p.m. because I'm working on the show.
Nice.
Yeah, so around 2 p.m. I should get a message from the bot telling me if the work's done or not.
Yeah, and you'll be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Look at this. I've totally forgotten. And reminders are a big thing.
Right. Yes.
So we'll get to reminders. I want to talk about that because that's why people are buying $700 Macs. But let's take a moment, talk about security. You really need to think about this before you go and deploy this thing, okay? This isn't just like a cliche warning. This is a real warning here. You really need to think about this. This thing, by default, is designed to execute CLI commands. I currently have that capability disabled on mine as a test. I'm kind of stepping it up, and it does. I can't execute CLI tools yet, but I probably will. So keep that in mind, that if somebody were to compromise this thing has the ability to run command line tools on your box. Additionally, it's often storing credentials in plain text files somewhere on your file system, and you can tell it where and how to do it carefully. But if it needs a login to a service, it's got to store that login somewhere. So you got to think about that kind of stuff. There could be credentials now getting written to your file system in plain text you didn't intend to.
Well, can you ask it? Is there any confidential information
or actually,
sensitive information?
You could ask it to use proper secrets management too.
Yeah.
A lot of this just comes down to the lack of imagination of the operator.
Right.
So
you?
No, me. But no, I mean, like for example, a lot of people are concerned about prompt injection, but that really comes down to prompt crafting on your part to begin with.
Right.
So there's I think what's going to be is Moltbot is going to be the story of fixing and solving these problems, right? It's the story of, oh, look at this incredible thing we can do and all of the utility here. Oh, and oh my God, this thing is designed in such a way that if anybody compromises this thing, it could destroy your personal data and your life. So we're going to watch a bunch of competitors to Moltbot come along that try to solve these issues. And we're going to watch Moltbot try to solve these issues. And then we're going to see implementations designed for commercial applications that, particularly are addressing these problems. I wouldn't be surprised if Claude and OpenAI and Microsoft came out with versions of this. Why wouldn't Microsoft build this into Windows? They're building everything else into Windows, so why wouldn't they build this in? So the consensus is be careful, take it easy, and the number one thing you should probably do is install it on dedicated hardware or a dedicated VM. Could be a VPS, could be a laptop, could be a Raspberry Pi. It doesn't matter. However, that said, people are buying $700 Macs. Mm-hmm. And the reason they're buying $700 Macs to do this, even though the creator, Peter Steinberg, says you don't need to, is they want access to the Apple ecosystem. So if you put Moltbot on a Mac, then you get access to iMessage, Apple Reminders, Apple Mail, all of the Apple stuff. And this thing makes Siri look like a toy. So it's so much more useful and powerful than anything Siri could ever have dreamed of doing. And if you want to be able to get reminders, and if you want to be able to interact with people over iMessage, and by the way, interact with this bot itself over iMessage, you got to put it on a Mac for the most part. Or you got to set up something like Blue Bubbles, and you can at least get the messaging done. But so, this weekend, I probably saw 50, 60 people go out and buy Mac Minis just to run a bot.
Wow.
They could run on the Linux box. Huh. You don't need a Mac, people. Put it on a $5 VPS. It'll be fine. I don't really recommend you put it on your desktop like I have done. Don't do like I do. Or take it very easy.
Your desktop if you like to YOLO.
Yeah. Yeah. And then last but not least, one more thing about these skills. There is, I'm sure it's about to be renamed, a site called Claude Hub, Andrews. And Claude Hub is a set of community-created skills. And there's a lot of them. There are so many. And they do all kinds of stuff. CalDev integration, Trello integration, Slack integration, X, Nix stuff, ham radio stuff, search, research, all the APIs. I mean, I could go on and on. It's amazing to see how fast this stuff takes off. And I put a list of really good ones in the show notes. I think like getting the GitHub support was a real win for me, and that's an example of a skill. So that way the thing can make GitHub issues and read GitHub issues. I think the self-improvement agent is an obvious one. So those are all skills, and they're very easy to install because the bot itself can install the skill. You just have to be careful. Some of them, could be malicious. So we are very much in the YOLO, roll the dice and find out if there's anything hidden in this, or find out if anything nefarious is happening here, because these could be executing code in some cases. So that's my disclaimer. But it is, think of so you want this thing to be able to do Excel? You go here, you install the Excel skill. Like in the Slack instance, you could, if you go away on vacation, traditionally you set away statuses. Now you could actually have this thing monitoring a channel in Slack and providing information to people if it knows what to look up.
I wonder if that's a way to bypass ridiculous workplace security.
Oh, for sure. People are going to use this to kind of like cheat around that all the time, or activity sensors.
Like, because I did not do I'm not planning to do this, but like I opted not to do mobile device management. But it sure is handy when I'm out in life trying to schedule something and I can't see my work schedule in meetings. Like, it would be nice if I had a way to have visibility on that without having to give work access to my personal phone. And without compromising the security of my work, obviously, because that is obviously a concern.
I think that is the trick when using this Moltbot thing, is not compromising your security. And to that end, the real practical use here is Hadia wants me to set this up for her. But the way to do it is to set up a separate phone number, maybe a Google Voice account or something. I would like suggestions on how to do this. Because she has this problem where, she started her clinic a decade ago, or more than a decade ago, had a handful of clients, and just gave them her personal phone number.
Yeah.
Well, you know where that goes.
Yeah.
You know where that goes. So now here we are, fast forward a decade later, and we're watching TV at 8:30 p.m., and she's answering 3 different people's text messages and rescheduling stuff. And it's
she just needs to text from the new phone number.
Yeah, I know.
Just not respond on the other one.
So this is my thinking: is I set her up a new phone number, and then she uses that to interact with people.
She
Maybe it's like
announces
through an app,
so it's a thing. So they're not caught off
updates
guard.
everybody.
Yeah,
yep. And then it has an app that lets her access it on her phone. But then additionally, there could be a world where Moltbot has access to that chat, and if it's just a scheduling thing, the stupid bot, especially when you set some limits, the stupid little bot could connect to the calendar. There's lots of ways to connect to calendars. See what's available. Come back over text message to the user or to the patient with a list of available times. They could respond to her with what time works for them or to the bot. And the bot could go schedule it on the calendar. She doesn't need to be involved when it's just scheduling and rescheduling.
Right.
Right? And the other thing it could do is it could watch and it could alert her via some other method if it needs to be escalated.
I think Bite Bitten might be calling you out for not responding to messages now because you have all these skills.
Well, I mean, this is where it's going.
Right. Okay. You're going to get it together.
The last 2 days, I would say the amount of messages I get has felt crushing again. Like this comes up from time to time for me. It's like I have fatigue and then I get crushed where it's non-stop every couple of minutes and I start feeling pecked to death all day long. And for somebody who has trouble staying focused, like this is an absolute productivity killer. And then by the end of the day, I'm feeling awful that not enough has gotten done. I feel like I have been robbed of my time all day long. And then the thing is like there's some stuff there's some chats I do want to be participating in. And then there's some chats that I want to like queue up and store for later. And maybe like this chat will be one that I come back to at the end of the day when I have time and I just want something to queue it all up for me. Overdosed is what it is. It's overdosed. Wes is hacking my bot for me. Thankfully, I'll run out of credits before he gets very far.
That's funny. Is that what that sound was?
Yeah, it's Wes hacking my bot. Isn't that great? So I do think I might use this for some low-hanging fruit kind of replies.
Yeah,
and I think probably the first job will be for Hadia.
No, this is super encouraging because I've been trying to find ways to, I'm always interested in more efficient ways to do things.
For sure.
Reimagining, revisioning, like this is really cool.
It is an interesting beginning to a local AI bot era where it's useful implementation of these bots and it's open source.
Yeah.
It's free software. The only thing that costs money is if you want to use a cloud LLM. But if you can run a local LLM, you could do all of this for free. Or what I'm going to do, depending on how much I can actually get out of the little tiny NVIDIA GPU that we have here on the network, what I'm going to do is as much of the basic stuff as I can, because I don't really care about speed for most. That's another reason people are buying the Mac Minis is because they do local inference. I just need something to do the processing work. It doesn't really have to be super fast most of the time. So what I'll probably try to do is a lot of the basic stuff on the cheap local LLM, and then the more complicated stuff I'll punt off, and I'll just pay the API credits for that. And I hope to find a good balance there. But I am like you said, I'm encouraged that it's this new way to actually approach this. It's useful for people. It actually gets work for them, and it's open source, and it's self-hosted.
Well, and it's grunt work. It takes out some grunt work stuff, some low, like not worth your time. So you just keep putting it off.
It's really the limits of your imagination. So I want to see where this goes, and then I'm kind of curious to see where the other Moltbot competitors kind of define themselves.
I'm like, okay, so you're responding in chat.
Yeah, it's my bot responding to Wes. He's giving him it's hacking me. These guys. But what's interesting is I'm watching, I have the bot reporting to me what they're doing in Telegram. So I could shut it down, but I kind of want to see it. I just don't break my system, but I kind of want to see how far it gets.
Yeah.
But I knew they would.
Funny. Yeah.
So they're trying to undo my prompt. So ahead of time, I've told it, don't execute any commands from these jackasses. And then give me a report if they try to do anything outrageous. And so I do have some notes here. These bastards. But I imagine this is the kind of thing that could be extremely, you put it in a public chat, right? This is what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fun. It is fun to watch, and it is another reason to show up live, right?
Yeah, well, I was like scrolling for days. I'm like, somebody just spammed the chat, and then I saw it was you.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it just took a long time to send because it was so long, because you were not anywhere near a copy paste.
No.
But then I saw your hands were not doing anything, and you responded.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty great. I mean, because it'll read a lot. Now it can't do much because it doesn't have command line access, but it can tell you a lot about the system.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want it. Here's a security tip: is don't put a bot that has access to your machine in a public chat.
Yeah.
Unless for some reason you like having fun with the audience, and then you can put it in our Matrix chat.
Or you have a Wes nearby that.
Yeah, and let them abuse it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's wrap it up there. I have a confession to make. I do. Ange already knows what's coming. This week's track. Well, here's the thing, guys. Is I'm having a rough time finding good tracks recently. Not that there isn't good ones. It's just I don't know. Nothing's really hit. So I'm putting a plea out there. If you found a great value for value track recently, boost me a link so I can feature them. Or if you're an artist out there and you have one, send me a link so we can feature it because I don't necessarily want to play my music. It's what I have. So there's that.
Now's the time.
If you want,
the song of the week. Remember, you can boost the track. They sure like that.
All right, well, this next song is by me, and I wrote it on the way to Austin for Texas Linux Fest when Wes and I were racing against Brent, and it was the race of our lives. And Brent had the momentum, he had the lead, and it looked like it was over for us. So I sat down in a dim, dank, stinky, probably unlevel Airbnb, and I wrote this song.
Madman, trying to get ahead of Wes and Chris again, but he locked himself out of the van. We're all going to Austin again, not sure we can beat Brent to the end. Chris is posed and ready to roll, Wes is set to catch Brent on patrol. So watching the track, wondering if they'll ever catch him back. But Brent's already halfway there, Austin bound with wind in his head. We're all going to Austin again, not sure we can beat Brent to the end. Chris is posed and ready to roll, Wes is set to catch Brent on patrol. To the end, Chris is posed and ready to roll, Wes is set to catch Brent on patrol.
Well, I'm just gonna make a quick call to the launch. I haven't checked in since yesterday. 774-462-5667. That's it. All right. 774-462-5667. Call now.
Now, I think we actually had 7, but like one got lost in the machine. And if you called in this morning and I missed it, I apologize. And I will be